Alright, what's going on, everybody? About to do this stream. So, uh, it's fight week. So, it's a countdown. I'm really hoping we can make it to this fight without something happening because I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I'm at the point now, I won't believe it until I'm actually in that arena and I see everybody walking out. But, the people involved walking out. But, you know, um, there's some talk that some people believe that Ugas he has a chance. Me myself, I don't. But if he pulls it off, then it is what it is. I mean, that'll be great for him if he beats a dude that haven't fought in 2 years. But the problem is Manny Pacquiao won't be worried about his Ugas power, or should I say lack of power. He isn't a big puncher, doesn't have many knockouts. He has a good skill set. But, to keep Manny at bay, you got to have some power to keep him off of you. Or he just going to keep coming. Or he just going to keep coming until he run into something via Marquez. So, fight number 4, where he got put to sleep. So, I'm going to talk about that later on, but I got to talk about Bud. I got to talk about Rigo and how he's finished. And I'm going to talk about Virgil Ortiz, and I'm going to talk about the aftermath of the Rigondeaux fight. Because like I said, I'm still like really pissed off about, that bullshit that was said, what a lot of people were saying in the comment section in regards to that fight, when you just saw a bunch of ignoramus, primarily Hispanics, comparing him to Floyd and saying he was, and I had to debunk that when I came with a video proving that Floyd isn't a runner. Nobody could respond. Nobody couldn't respond because I came with Floyd's punch stats. Because this whole Floyd is a runner thing is a overblown myth, and just just a stereotypical statement of how black fighters are perceived. At the end of the day, people see Rigo as a nigga. Even though he's Cuban, they see guys like Rigo, Lara, Ortiz, and Ugas as niggas. They don't see them as Hispanics. They see them as niggas because they just too dark for a lot of people's, taste. And that's the honest to God truth. Just got to keep it a buck. People don't like to talk about these type of things, except me. Because that's what I do. But yeah, they talking about not putting Rigo back on TV. And I heard Bernie the Boxer, shout out to Bernie the Boxer. I heard him talking about it, and he said the same thing that I said, that he might be done. Now, there's a lot of people that thought Rigondeaux won the fight. I had it a draw. I thought Rigondeaux, if he would have just been a little bit more active, not only do I think he could have won the fight, I think he could have knocked dude out. And then it came down to, could Rigo pull the trigger? I mean, his legs showed that he could, he still can move. But he was just doing so much backpedaling. And at the end of the day, neither man, to me, deserved to win the fight. The best thing to do was to call it a draw, and he was real easy to hit. All you had to do, Greg, is turn him. Rigo could have hit him. When Rigo had him in front of him and he had hit him with a body shot, Rigo could have went upstairs, downstairs, and when he turned him, He could have he could have turned it with a check left hook, with a jab. Dude didn't have no type of defense. Did you see how bad he was missing? Somebody like Inoue, he would sleep that dude. And probably if he fight Nonito Donaire is gonna sleep that dude. Like I said, Rigo's career and his reputation took a big hit. I promise you, even though he's a Hall of Fame fighter, when it come time to vote Rigo into the Hall of Fame, people he gonna have a hard time getting into the Hall of Fame, and I hate it. Yeah, he would knock that dude out probably 4 rounds tops. I mean, Rigo, the way he was backpedaling, he looked like... Do y'all remember that video by the boys called Down My Heart? When he was doing the backstroke dance, I was like... And I was getting frustrated because I was like, I already knew what was going to happen. I say people was finna rip him to shreds. And I'm not knocking them for like criticizing him. The problem that I had was you had people in the comment section comparing him to Floyd. And that shit is just inaccurate, and it's just flat out racist. It just got to be said. Rigo is nothing like Floyd. The only thing Rigo and Floyd have in common is skin color. That's about it. I'm talking about he just was backing up. It was so much opportunity to get that dude up out of there. And he just, you know what I'm saying? Like the great Dennis Green said, Rigo would let him off the hook. He could have knocked that dude out. Now that's one thing I agree with Rolly when he said the old Rigo would have slept that dude, and he would have slept him. He should have just, you know, I was thinking to myself, okay, well maybe after the 5th round, Rigo will get going and he'll start like staying, you know, he'll stay put and he'll throw some punches, and you know, he'd bother dude, and then he'd, you know, which he frustrated dude because dude couldn't hit him. But at the same time, it was so much inactivity, you were just like, man. Because I done seen Rigo fight so many times. I remember the Joseph Ibeko fight, that wasn't his fault. Because Ibeko, he wouldn't engage. He wouldn't come forward. Then the fight he had on the Canelo card, hey, what's going on? The fight he had on the Canelo card, well, it was, you know, he wasn't backpedaling like he was, like, you know, on Saturday. But, you know, they was ripping him to shreds. This is why a lot of promoters don't want to deal with Rigondeaux. And then due to the fact he don't care, he don't listen to his trainer. So now he could get the reputation as, man, this dude is just difficult to work with. Ronnie Shields gave him the perfect game plan to like not only beat that dude, but possibly go in there and stop the dude, and he just wouldn't let it hang. Now, we all know that Rigo has always been a little bit chinny. You know? But for him to just sit up there and be on the back foot and doing all that, you know, on his bicycle, and look like he was, like it was the second coming of breaking, you know, I just was like, oh my God. I really was. I was like, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, like right before my eyes. It just got to the point you just was like, man, you gotta be kidding me. And I mean, I was begging him to do something. I mean, I'm serious. I was begging him to do something. The fight was there for the taking, for him to knock that dude out. He could have knocked that dude out. And that dude is not going to fight him again. I promise you that. Yeah, I saw Tyron Turner. I saw him. I saw him. Like I said before, Rigondeaux, he not a main eventer. That's the problem. He's not a main event guy. And you can make that same argument about Lara as well because of the way they fight. The last time I remember when Lara fought at the what is that, the Barclays Center, he was the main event. People was walking out of there. Now, with the exception of the fight with Jared Hurd, you know, Lara has one of them styles where you just be like, man, come on, man. And they could give you, and then they capable of fighting crowd pleasing fights. They've done it before. You know, and I understand the art of boxing is to hit and not get hit, but there is going to be a time in the fight where you got to throw some damn punches. I mean, come on, man. I think between those two dudes, only like 90 punches was landed total. A total of 90 punches was landed. So you just like, man, you got to be like, what? You was just like, what the hell? It just wasn't a good look. And like I said, at 40 years old, they not going to put that dude back on TV. I think we saw the last of him. I think Rigo blew a golden opportunity because everybody saw what he did. And then for him not to even care how he fought, you know, he made dude look stupid though. But the problem is it just wasn't enough there for him, you know, to secure the fight. But like I said, I scored it a draw because nobody did nothing in that damn fight. But when Rigo landed something, it looked a lot better than what that dude was doing. So, like I said before, that's the damn problem. And that's fact. We not going to probably see that dude again. All right, so moving on. All right, so far so good for negotiations with Sean Porter versus Bud and a potential, you know, showdown, you know, in November. You hearing that this is going to go to a purse bid. So like I said, if this fight don't get made, this falls on PBC. Now, I know the PBC apologists, they don't want to hear this, but this falls all on them. If Al Heyman find a way to screw up this fight, this is on the PBC. And there's no way anybody could get around this. It's just, it will be a totally, hey, what's going on, Davis? This will be a totally bad look for the PBC if this fight falls apart. They have the opportunity. They have the opportunity to secure Bud at least for one fight for sure. And then if they pay him right, this may entice him to say, hey, well, you know what? I'm going to stay here. Okay, maybe the PBC is where it's at. So if they let this fight go to the Zone or Triller or something, then like I said, this is going to be a bad look for the PBC because anybody could come out of nowhere and bid on this fight. But wherever this fight is going to take place at, like I said, they really don't have a they don't have a destination as of yet for this fight. But it's looking like you know, you've been hearing rumors that Bud may want to fight in Omaha, but I doubted Sean would want to fight in Bud's hometown. So more than likely, it's Vegas. It could be Madison Square Garden. Atlanta could be in the mix, you know. But if I was a gambling man, more than likely this fight is going to take place. If I was a gambling man, more than likely this fight is going to take place in probably Vegas. I think for everybody's sake, I think it'll take place in Vegas because I think it'll be easy to bring that fight to Vegas. Both Sean and and Bud have fought in Vegas, and I think it'll be easier to get people to come watch that fight if it's in a place like Vegas. So, like I said, Atlanta would be cool. I'm pushing for Atlanta to get that fight. I'm pushing for it. I mean, they got Heron and Shakur Stevenson, coming up. I might be at that fight depending on what happens. You know, if there isn't another shutdown, if they don't start, cutting off access to people, that don't want to participate in the Zab Zuda. So I mean, we'll see. But I would like to be there. I think that'll be a very interesting fight, to say the least. Now, as far as Virgil Ortiz go, I think people got to be careful when they don't overrate Virgil Ortiz based off what happened with the Mean Machine, because I told you that's not a way to analyze a fight or a fighter. When you say, oh, well, he got him out of there one round quicker than Terrence Crawford did. Like I say, styles make fights, and I don't think you want to go that route, because that doesn't mean a damn thing. And I just got to keep it 100. I don't think you want to go that route, because me myself, Virgil Ortiz looked good, but I saw some flaws in him. That Bud could exploit. You got to understand, Bud is a rangy fighter. So I think Bud could exploit some things that Mean Machine couldn't. At the end of the day, but Mean Machine showed that he's a tough SOB, because he didn't drop both Bud and Ortiz. And then you had people sitting up saying he didn't get dropped. He got hit and he went down. It was stop it. He went down in a flurry of those punches. He was hurt at least 3 times in that fight. And I mean, Ortiz was hurt bad. But at the end of the day, he kept it together and he went on to get the stoppage. Now, like I said before, that was a good test. My thing is, now we got to see, once again, in boxing, you have a measuring stick. The problem is, we can't use the measuring stick because, well, you guys already know what's going on. I mean, you guys know what's going on. You can't get certain fights made because of who people are affiliated with. And that's the damn problem. That's the problem. We would like to see how good Ortiz really is or could be, but the problem is, well, you know what's going on. You hearing other side of the street, the last house on the left. So you can't get this. You can't, Yeah, I've been talking about that too. I kind of don't think they gonna let him near Bud, because Bud could seriously damage him. So he could do some. Bud might wreck Virgil Ortiz. Okay. But if I was a gambling man, I think Ennis would beat the hell out of Virgil Ortiz. But that's a marquee fight 2 years down the line. That could be a big fight if they could get it together. If these promotional companies could cut the stuff, because I would love to see a fight like that. They might not let him near Bud, because I'm telling you, Bud, I know Ortiz fans, whenever they see a guy like Ortiz win, a lot of them just automatically think he could beat Bud. And I'm telling you, it ain't gonna go the way. And I'm telling you now, it ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. I'm telling you, Bud is gonna wreck. Bud will wreck Virgil Ortiz. When I say he will wreck him, he will wreck him. And I'm just telling, he'll catch Bud. He might hurt Bud in the fight, but I'm telling you, Bud is gonna wreck with Bud is gonna wreck Ortiz if they fight. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but it'll okay. I think Ennis could stop him. I'm just keeping it a buck. I think Ennis would possibly stop him. I think he would overwhelm him with his speed. And y'all keep forgetting Ennis got power too. He got power too. That's what people keep forgetting about him. He got power. So I'm just letting you know though. But anyway, let me go on and get out of here. I'll check with you guys later on. I'm out.